So when we started our State of the State 2019 series, we wanted to talk about well-being, but not just about how we grow well-being, but how we make sure that everybody in New Zealand has the benefit of growth in well-being, and that we can deal with those fundamental inequities that sit behind the averages that show us that we're getting better over time. Over the 3 months since we released the first article in this series, we've noticed that there's been increasing dialogue about inequities that exist in our society across many different sectors. So we've seen reports published in health, in social welfare, in education, and even in digital technology that highlight that there are persistent inequities that get in the way of people benefiting from growth in well-being and well-being investments, but also just from their basic rights in terms of being able to operate successfully and live the lives they want to lead in our society. So while our series of articles and these reports are new, the underlying issues that they're talking about are not. We see statistics around differences in access to healthcare, different educational outcomes, gender pay gaps that exist, and we recognise that these are issues that keep on being reported, but nobody's actually dealing with. So in our final article of the series, we make a number of conclusions and recommendations that we think will fundamentally allow us to deal with some of these inequity issues and grow well-being. The first is that growth doesn't benefit everybody. It falls inequitably across society. So we can't rely on growth to get us out of the situation that we find ourselves in. What we have to do is think about how do we reallocate resources to the places that it needs to be in order to address the biggest inequities that face us. That may include the need to provide transitional support to those who would otherwise have less as a result of those reallocations. Secondly, business can be a significant contributor to growing well-being and addressing inequities, but it can also be a contributor and an underlying cause of some of those inequities. We need to think about what kind of guardrails, incentives and rewards business might need to encourage them to make the right choices that address some inequities that exist within the business environment. Third, we need to be held to account, otherwise change will be too slow. If you look in areas like climate change crisis that we're all facing, New Zealand is committing to an independent climate change commission that will make recommendations around the carbon budgets that different sectors can have. Could we do something similar from a well-being perspective? Could we have an independent well-being commission that would hold us to account for addressing the distribution of well-being in society, help us to address those inequities and lead to a better life for all New Zealanders?